pay. But earlier on in their own statement read here, it says that there has been delay in sending of the money from Treasury. So passing the buck to the consortium, yet it's stating very well that the monies need to come of the exchequer is a way of just running away from the responsibility of the Teacher Service Commission, because the teachers signed that deal with the Teacher Service Commission and not the consortium. The consortium is only known to the Teacher Service Commission, but the teachers know Teacher Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, the second gap is that the TSC acknowledges that they have not paid the last quarter beginning December and going all the way to February. And they are saying that we wait for the supplementary too. Yes, I want to ask parliamentarians, here we are, that you are all affected by this medical cover for teachers. Because from where you come, we have teachers and they are suffering today. Currently, as it obtains, Honorable Speaker, the hospitals have stopped giving medical cover to the teachers.
Honorable Milemba, you are making a speech. Seek clarification.
I've raised two clarifications.
Yes.
Thank you, as directed on why you are passing the buck to the consortium. Yet the main respondent, the main person who should actually deal with the monies is the Teacher Service Commission. As it obtains today, Honorable Speaker, the hospitals stopped giving the services to the teachers. And above all, Honorable Speaker, the teachers lost their medical cover. So it is not something that is free. It is that they are also having payments to this particular scheme. And therefore, can the officer clarify why this money cannot be given to the consortium, given that the teachers themselves surrendered their medical cover, which was formerly medical allowance, which was formerly on their pay slips. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Omongina, other members, your consultations are too loud.
Honorable Speaker, the question was why TSC has not dispersed, has delayed in dispersing. And TSC has tried, of course, to explain, but I will also, with the committee, seek for more clarification from the Commission, whether they are the ones who are supposed to disperse the money from the Commission to the service providers. They will have to give us that clarification.
Omongina, the reason you are here to respond is to have those facts that you are trying to seek from your principals.
Yes. What I had already clarified was that for sure when the exchequer is released to TSC, they also limit the money to the consortium.
Yeah, Baba.
But as at the time the question was asked, the exchequer had not given money to TSC. But as from the last 2 years, because the contract was 3 years, it has been paid fully. It was only the first and second quarter which they had not limited. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Milemba.
1 minute, Honorable Speaker. So, can we get a clarification on why the money cannot be paid on time, yet the teachers surrendered their medical allowance? They used to earn it as salary. And then they surrendered it to go to the pool to provide the medical cover. Thank you.
Dorothy, hold on, Omongina. Yes, Dorothy.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want Speaker to weigh on this matter. Speaker, it is evident that teachers' medical scheme is recovered from their salaries every month. Honorable Speaker, diseases cannot wait for release of exchequer. And Honorable Speaker, because teachers pay their money every month, what measures is Teacher Service Commission doing so that they ensure that the service providers are paid on time so that our teachers and their dependents access medical cover seamlessly? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, according to the reply, it is that money that is not directly cut from teachers, but it is the exchequer. It is from TSC to exchequer, and the delays are from the exchequer. So it is this house.
Order,
this
exchequer
house.
to TSC or TSC to exchequer?
It is from exchequer to TSC. It is them who releases the exchequer to TSC. So it is already, it has delayed. So all of us, we should ask why our teachers are getting into this situation because of the delays from the exchequer.
Energy. Is Tom Boyer in the house? Tom Boyer? Yes, Gikaria? Do you have a response?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this was a response that was sought by Honorable Tom Boyer, Member of Parliament for Yatika constituency. Honorable Speaker, the first question that was sought was the status of replacement and maintenance of dilapidated power transmission and distribution infrastructure, including collapsed power poles and hanging live wires in Yatika constituency. Honorable Speaker, KPLC carries out continuous maintenance on the medium and low voltage network and inspections of power network, with most recently being done in the months of March and April. And this identifies the weak areas and come up with a plan for action, for immediate action plan. Honorable Speaker, the recent inspection identified the following: rotten, leaning wooden poles. The line passes through private land, thus limiting accessibility. 3, very many trees encroach the power line. D, a large number of illegal connections. All these contribute towards the inefficiencies of the power supply in that area. KPLC has initiated a rapid response initiative which is projected for June and July. A, immediate replacement of the faulty transformers. B, replace a target number 800 number poles with concrete ones from wooden to concrete. C, fully maintain the existing 300 transformers. D, safety campaigns, which was done through Remi FM on the 7th May 2025, and a physical baraza on the 22nd May 2025. Second question, Honorable Speaker, was a report on the causes of frequent and prolonged power outages in Yatika constituency. Honorable Speaker, Yatika constituency is served by Gogo 33 kV feeder line. Honorable Speaker, the rapid growth in the new project from REREC and Government of Kenya last mile connectivity has seen a span of 350 kilometers of the transmission line with over 40 branch spurs. Honorable Speaker, we have 310 transformers which serve 5,961 customers, and of course the numbers is growing. Honorable Speaker, Kengen Gogo Falls Power Station is the one that serves Yatika area. Honorable Speaker, also third-party interference on power line, vandalism, illegal connections, and tree cutting by members of the public has also contributed towards that. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, is the conducive wind corridor. There are so many trees and the place is flat, and so, Honorable Speaker, the wind causes trees to fall, thus affecting the transmission line. The midterm initiatives, Honorable Speaker, is at Ketrako, Masaba, 132/33 substation in Migori is in the final stages of completion, and B, a dedicated feeder tee-off at Stella to Gogo generation is ongoing and is expected to be completed by December 2025. Question number 3, Honourable Speaker, are the measures that the Ministry has put in place to compensate Mr. William Onyango, including reimbursements for medical expenses and consequent loss suffered by the family of Mr. Onyango, requesting also to indicate specific timelines. On the case of William Onyango, Honourable Speaker, the accident happened on the 22nd April 2025, and the claim was launched at KPLC 12th May 2025 and reported to KPLC Insurance Services Provider the next day, that is 13th May 2025. KPLC has served with court summons on 26th May 2025, and the same reported to KPLC Insurance Service Providers. The insurance investigator has commenced the investigation with a view to conclude the matter after all legal formalities are provided. Lastly, Honourable Speaker, the last question is a report on the number of victims or deaths that have occurred due to faulty power infrastructure since 2017. Honourable Speaker, the number of EPRA reportable incidences for 2017 to date are 16, out of which 9 cases were fatal in nature, 5 cases were non-fatal, 1 case involving livestock, and 1 case being a non-injury incident where a pole fell near a shop. Among the 9 fatal cases, 4 cases involved illegal and substandard extensions beyond the KPLC metering points by the customers, leading to electrocution accidents. The remaining 5 cases were due to compromised ground clearance of the power infrastructure. Honourable Speaker, out of the 16, 6 cases are in court, have claims in different stages of investigation, 2 cases have been settled, and 8 cases do not have any claims. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Tom, you are satisfied with that?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The response is fairly good. The only area of concern is the speed. How Kenya Power is responding to replace the faulty lines. And this one also reported at Masaba. The one they are saying will improve the power in Yatika. If done in time, I think it will save my business people in the constituency. But on the injured in May, I would wish to report that he finally died and he was buried last week. The kind of power we are receiving in our constituency is not power which can enhance investment or business in that area. It's something which can have a blackout for over 1 week, and no serious businessman can invest his money in Yatika constituency when it comes to power outages. But for the report which has been given, Honourable Speaker, it's fairly good and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let it lie there. Beatrice Adagala. Beatrice Adagala, not in the House, stayed to Wednesday afternoon tomorrow. Mark Mwenje in the House. Yes, Chair Health. Dr. Nyikal.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in response to request for a statement by one Mark Mwenje regarding the shortage of polio and BCG vaccines, this is the response from the ministry, Mr. Speaker. 1, the immediate measures the ministry is taking to address the current shortage of polio and BCG vaccines in the country, including specific timelines. Mr. Speaker, the ministry is fully aware that the disruption in vaccine availability is causing a greater anxiety in the country. To address the current shortage, the Ministry of Health has implemented the following immediate measures. One, emergency procurement support. The government has, through the Ministry of Health, made an emergency disbursement of Kenya shillings 1 billion to support the procurement of essential vaccines, namely BCG, oral polio, tetanus, diphtheria, through UNICEF. These quantities are sufficient to sustain the country's routine immunization program for a period of 3 months. Two, Mr. Speaker, on the arrival of the vaccines on 4th of June for polio and 11th of June for BCG, a distribution timelines were worked out and the distributions have been done, and throughout the regions, the vaccines were dispatched to 9 regional depots on 12th of June 2025, and these regions are Kisumu, Kakamega, Nakuru, Eldoret, Garissa, Meru, Nyeri, Nairobi, and Mombasa. In line with the devolved health system, the ministry, in coordination with the Council of Governors, issued communication to all counties requesting their respective departments to collect the vaccines from the depots and facilitated onward distribution. Mr. Speaker, the distribution is as follows. Eldoret, BCG 264,000 doses, polio 264,000 doses, and tetanus 147. Garissa, BCG 114,000, OPV 114,000, diphtheria 63. Kakamega 216,000 for BCG, 216 for polio, and 118,000 for diphtheria. Kisumu Regional Store 270,000, BCG 270,000, polio, and 150,000 tetanus diphtheria. Meru Regional Store 96,000, polio, 96,000 polio, and 54,000 tetanus diphtheria. Mombasa 192,000, BCG, and polio 192,000, and diphtheria 105,000. Mr. Speaker, Nakuru 192,000, 192,000, 105 for BCG, polio, and tetanus. Nyeri 78,000, 78,000, 45,000 for BCG, polio, and tetanus. Total was 1,944,000 for 1,000 for BCG, 1,944,000 for polio, and 1,075,000 for tetanus. Mr. Speaker, there's a balance to be dispatched, indicating, Mr. Speaker, that actually for the period indicated, we'll actually have adequate BCG. Now, the logistics for quick distribution, as you have said earlier, across the country is working with the Council of Governors through the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the other important thing about this is the long term. And Mr. Speaker, there's a bit of history to this. Kenya, since the year 2001, has been a valued beneficiary of support from Gavi. So, Speaker, what that means is we actually get support from Gavi to the tune of US dollars 950 million in funding to strengthen our national immunization program. Under Gavi's co-funding financing framework, the government of Kenya is required to make an annual financial contribution towards vaccine procurement. This agreement is based on a shared responsibility model, and continued compliance is essential for Kenya to remain eligible for this support. For the current financial year, the total amount required by the Ministry of Health to meet the country's vaccine procurement needs is 4.2 billion, as indicated below. Kenya shillings 2 billion for procurement of traditional vaccines, 1.62 billion for Gavi co-financing, which is due on June 2025, and 585 million for the replacement of vaccine independence initiative through UNICEF. So, Mr. Speaker, from this, we actually, as of now, we have adequate vaccines. Now, but we have a shortfall. So, Mr. Speaker, to address the outstanding shortfall, the ministry secured an additional 930 million Kenya shillings for supplementary budget 3, earmarked specifically to cover the 620 million balance pending. Mr. Speaker, basically we have to put some money for Gavi to support us. And that money, 930 million, has actually been made available. The Ministry of Health continues to actively engage the National Treasury to ensure timely release of these funds and full compliance with our financial obligations under the co-financing agreement. These efforts are particularly focused on meeting the June 2025 deadline to avoid any further disruption. This disruption came because we did not meet the deadline, but this money now will help us meet the deadline, and we should be able to forestall any shortages. So, Speaker, the long-term strategy put in place to strengthen the national vaccine supply chain so as to build resilience against future disruption in vaccine available. What the ministry is doing is to really looking for increased future budget allocation and ring-fencing vaccine funds against other budget provisions and timely disbursement of funds. The most difficult one has been the timely disbursement of funds. So with this, Mr. Speaker, the ministry wishes to assure the House that the Kenya public that the government, through the Ministry of Health, is committed to making every effort to prevent stockouts and sustain high immunization coverage. Our goal is clear. No child or eligible person should ever miss a life-saving vaccine due to preventable supply chain failures. So, Speaker, we will continue to work closely with partners and UNICEF and Gavi and county government to ensure that long-term plans translate into consistent availability of vaccines across all regions of the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I think your worries are responded to.
Yes.
Yes, largely.
Largely, Honorable Speaker, and I just want to thank him. I just have one issue that I'll raise, to just thank the Chair and yourself for actually your intervention in this matter. Honorable Speaker, the only issue I'll raise is that sometime for about 2 weeks in May and sometime before the 11th, when the vaccines were made available, there were children who were born in various hospitals, including my own constituency, and did not receive these vaccines. And I'm sure it will be all over around the country. Perhaps I would have expected the Chair to give just a guideline to Kenyans, because those children who did not get those vaccines, what happens? Those mothers took those children, went home, and those children remain at home without having gotten these vaccines. And for some of the very marginalized areas, you know, even getting these children to go back to those hospitals might be an issue. Perhaps the ministry would give a guideline and just give an advisory to these parents on what they need to do for these parents, these May, June babies born during that time. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you to the
I
Chair.
think it's sufficiently comprehensive. When children are born, I think they're given a vaccine, is it every month for some time before they are weaned off? So what the chairman and your minister should do now is do some advocacy to the country that those children who are born in hospitals and missed BCG vaccinations should go back and get them.
Although that is not specifically written here, I had actually undertaken and discussed with the ministry,
Yes.
and they actually have done that. And even when the children miss vaccines, they are actually indicated that they should visit the clinics when the vaccines become available. Mr. Speaker, just a little story. This came to me in a very interesting way. My worker had a child, and That's when I knew the 2 weeks they missed the Uganda to get the vaccine done. That is how seriously parents take vaccination.
And what we also need to do is getting vaccines landed in Nairobi is one thing. Getting them in hospitals in far-flung areas like Turkana, Mandera is another. So ensure that each hospital gets their rightful share of the vaccines to administer to young children born in our country.
Thank you. Even that has been done through the distribution channels. Thank
Next,
you.
Murugara, to respond to Umulkhair Harun. Are you ready?
No. I have not received any response, but I will make an inquiry so that we are able to respond to it. It doesn't take longer than it should.
Speak loud, I can't hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've not received the response. In fact, I wasn't notified. But I will make inquiries so that we do it as soon as we can, because maybe it has delayed.
Okay, Umulkhair,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
you are listed to get a response. The chair says he's not aware. Now that he is, we'll slot you for Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
Get the response, Honorable Murugara. Is Beatrice Adagala in the house now? Yes, Gikaria, you have a response to Canaan?
Yes, I have, Honorable Speaker.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we received, the committee received a request, and they requested the ministry, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, on the response. Honorable Speaker, question number 1 was a report on the current status of funding, planning, and of the implementation of extension of the national grid from Garissa to Wajir and Mandera counties. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Energy has planned to ensure all counties are connected by 2035. This is posted in the Least Cost Power Development Plan and the Ketraco Transmission Master Plan. Honorable Speaker, Table 1 summarizes the planned projects in Garissa, Mandera, and Wajir County, and I hope the Honorable Canaan has, I don't want to repeat, Honorable Speaker. The feasibility study and feasibility study for Garissa-Wajir transmission line has been done, and the ministry in the process of sourcing funds. The supply of power to Mandera is to be effected by either new 220 kV line from Wajir, approximately 250 kilometer of transmission line of 220 kV line, or a new interconnector from Ethiopia's grid. Ketraco is in the process of analyzing the options. Support requests have been submitted to development partners to assist with financing the pre-feasibility and feasibility studies. It is worth to note that due to the long distance from the nearest grid supplied location in Kenya, and to mitigate risks in voltage instability related to lightly loaded long high voltage lines, Ketraco is considering an option to be analyzed during the feasibility study, the possibility of having Mandera supplied through a proposed cross-border high voltage transmission line from Ethiopia. Deliberations have been initiated with Ethiopia Transmission Company on the possibility of connectivity. Once the studies are complete and the projects are deemed feasible, the ministry will embark on the process of sourcing for financing. Question number 2, the immediate and long-term measures the government is putting into place to ensure residents of Northeastern region get access to reliable and affordable power. Honorable Speaker, the ministry is cognizant of the sufferings of the residents of Northeastern region. The overall target of the ministry is to connect every Kenyan to the national grid. Therefore, as indicated in, sorry, Honorable Speaker, because that is, to this effect, the ministry has has been proactive in offering alternative solutions through distributed sources like solar home systems, mini-grids. Honorable Speaker, there is table 2 and 3, which have shows the off-grid solutions to the 3 areas that is under the solar PV mini-grids and the diesel stations. Honorable Speaker, to actualize these plans, the ministry needs more funding, as most of the projects are pending under implementation stage. For example, the financial year 24-25, RELEC was allocated 400 million for operational activities, while budgeted maintenance cost was Kenya shillings 300 million. However, the maintenance cost budget was reduced by 60%. Thus, hence the actual budget availed for maintenance was only 120 million shillings. Honorable Speaker, the major cost of operation of off-grid station is procurement of fuel, as the average annual cost of 7 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, there is a description of items and the cost that is to be used for off-grid fuel, diesel, and operational costs for staff and the equipment maintenance, Honorable Speaker. It is worth noting that over the time, the demand of these areas served by the mini-grids and diesel stations have been growing and require upgrade. REREC has proposed to upgrade 27 mini-grids at an estimated cost of 1,214 million. The hybridization of 20 diesel stations at an estimated cost of 7 billion shillings, Honorable Speaker, for the northern Kenya counties is demonstrated, Honorable Speaker. On the other hand, KPLC needs an additional 1,553 million for off-grid station as annexed in 4, 5, and 6. Question number 3, Honorable Speaker. The government plans to address the gap in provision for power in the region, including alternatives for provision of off-grid solar access. Honorable Speaker, the ministry is undertaking a vigorous exercise of power provision in northeastern region through Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program, COSAP, at an approximate cost of 5.66 billion. The program, Kenya Off-Grid COSAP, has the following key components. US $40 million for mini-grids for community facilities, US $48 million standalone solar system, US $40 million standalone solar system and solar water pumps, for community facilities. Under COSAP, Honorable Speaker.
Vicaria, how long to go? Paraphrase.
I'm done, just about. Honorable Speaker, under COSAP, mini-grid and standalone solar facilities, Mandera has been allocated US $15.1 million shillings, approximately 2 billion Kenya shillings. Wajir has an allocation of 20 million, approximately 2.5 billion. And lastly, Garissa has an approximate of 1.4 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, Table 4 states the number of sites per county under COSAP, Honorable Speaker. And for Mandera, we have 28 number, Wajir 15, Garissa 20, and total number is 63. Honorable Speaker, further, the ministry through KPLC is undertaking hybridization of the substations listed in Table 5 below under AFD funding. Honorable Speaker, the table is indicated AFD funded mini-grids. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
None.
Mr. Speaker, I requested for a statement regarding the extension of the national grid from Garissa, Wajir, Mandera. And Mr. Speaker, I know at one time as a young lawyer, you have been to that part of Kenya.
Yes.
The answer given by the chair,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, is a continuation of sessional paper number 10 of 1965, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I want to get your attention so that the good lawyer can wait for wise counsel from the Speaker when he's free. Mr. Speaker, I was saying this statement is a product of sessional paper number 10 of 1965. And I'm glad that you have been to that region as a young lawyer. And the question was, the plan the government of Kenya has to extend the national grid from Garissa, Wajir to Mandera, Mr. Speaker, and the three counties combined constitute over 70% of the landmass of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the answer, if you look at the first question was the current status of funding, planning, and implementation of the extension. And the answer is, and this is what he says, the ministry has planned to ensure all counties are connected by 2035. This is espoused in the least cost power development plan. And what is missing is, and the most efficient power plan, Mr. Speaker. Cost effectiveness is one thing, efficiency is another thing. And therefore, this plan, as I look at it, Mr. Speaker, I had sought the same question in 2012, Mr. Speaker, from then Minister for Energy, the Honorable Kiraitu Murungi, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, I didn't come with a Hansard report. The answer is the same. 13 years down the line, there is no plan by the government of Kenya, and in particular the Minister of Energy, to connect a third of the landmass of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, to the national grid. And what we are being told right now is to continue live in this modern day Kenya and accept the tenets, those discriminatory provisions of sessional paper number 10 of 1965, which completely rubbished and excluded Northern Kenya
Honorable Gikaria,
from
you made your point.
as part of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, secondly, there are rights under REREC, which every constituency is entitled to. What I'm asking is connection from extension of the national grid. The national grid has ended in Garbatula. The national grid has reached Garissa and those parts. And they are telling us they have plans to consult the Ethiopian energy generation company, Mr. Speaker, to see. That answer was also given in 2012. Has it taken them 13 years to consult with the Ethiopian energy generation company, Mr. Speaker? Has it taken 13 years for Ministry of Energy to even devise an implementable, cost-effective energy plan for Northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker?
You've made your point.
This answer, Mr. Speaker, this answer, allow me to say this because it covers 3 counties, Mr. Speaker. This answer, and I know the chairman is innocent because what he's reading, just like you saw the lady, the innocent lady who was responding on behalf of TSC, this answer that you are given lacks every substance, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to urge my good friend, and the reason why the owners of the system decided to bring you back as the chairman of energy. We want you to invoke that inherent right and ensure that under your leadership, Northern Kenya is connected to the national grid. As it is, this answer is wanting, it lacks substance, it lacks vision, it doesn't meet our expectation, and therefore, the only place it deserves is to be thrown to the dustbin. We expect you to provide leadership.
Gikaria, is that answer plagiary of an answer given 13 years ago?
Honorable Speaker, I don't want to answer about the 13 years ago, but I want to agree with the Honorable Speaker that it is true that there is no proper concrete. But, Honorable Speaker, as the report has indicated, this country cannot operate as in unison on its own. So we have the Kenya-Ethiopia connection line, and there is a talk between the Kenyan government and the Ethiopian government to be able to, using the grid or the transmission line from Ethiopia that can be able, and it is cost effective, it will be cheaper for this country for it to be, and it is most appropriate because it will be done in shorter term. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, and that is the fact, as Honorable Kainan has put it, getting a transmission line of the nature of power that needs to be taken to the northeastern region, then it is quite costly, and of course it's going to take time because of the distance, as indicated by the ministry. But the ministry has done some interventions by bringing in the mini grids like the solar, particularly solar. It has worked very well in Garissa, where the government commissioned a 50 megawatt solar plant, and it is working very nice. So we are hoping that, as indicated again by the ministry, they are sourcing for partners to be able to get funding so that we can be able. And the very last answer, Honorable Speaker, is that these funds have been stipulated in the very last page, indicating exactly how much each county has been, they are sourcing for funding so that we can be able to address that. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is an issue that is very critical, especially in northern Kenya. The grid being one of the most important things that we require as northerners is now in Garissa. And Garissa to Mandera is over 700 kilometers. Unfortunately, during the rainy seasons, vehicles carrying fuel to fuel Wajir and Garissa, because there is no road, the roads are impassable. In fact, they are stuck on the way. Unfortunately, in Mandera, during the heavy rains, vehicles stuck on the road over 7 days. Mandera was in total blackout. Unfortunately, we are in the Stone Age era where generators are used. I think Mandera, Garissa, Wajir are the only areas that up to now use generators. The old generators, that always fail. The last Ramadan.
Yes, Rueda, what's your point of order? What is out of order?
Ni Lamu pia iko natumia majenereta Kiunga na Faza. Wasiseme Northeastern peke yake. So it is not the only place. Wajue Lamu pia tunatumia Kiunga generator, kwa hivyo walikuwa nadanganya. Kwa hivyo arekebishe Lamu, Kiunga na Faza. Tunatumia majenereta. Hao wenzetu wa Northeastern wakati wa namba wanatuingiza sisi Lamu, lakini wakati wa mapato wani wao peke yao. Wanatusahau sisi Lamu. Thank you. Hao wakijitetea wanatusahau sisi Lamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Lamu is included in Northeastern most of the times. Most of the times. In fact, in the developmental parts, it is included. Even in security side, it's always included in Northeastern. So if I mention Northeastern,
seek your clarification.
I have corrected that. Lamu being part of Northeastern, although it's part of coast, it's also part of Northeastern. So my colleague, I'm sorry for that. So Mr. Speaker, it was very unfortunate that the last Ramadan, my people in Mandera fasted in the dark. It was very unfortunate that throughout the 30 days of Ramadan, we were in total blackout. Reason, all the generators failed. There is no reason as to why the Kenya government...
Point made. Kikaria, when in terms of timelines, do you hope our compatriots in the northern parts of Kenya can test the national grid?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And Lamu.
Yes, and Lamu. Honorable, like, for example, in Lamu, Honorable Speaker, there was a planned project where we were to use an underground cable through the sea to take the off-grid power to Lamu. But again, funding, because of funding, Honorable Speaker. Let me say, with the ambitious program of the country by the current administration, we intend to have mini grid in the northeastern region. If it goes beyond maybe 3 years, 4 years, we will be having the grid in the northeastern region. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery, Migwani Boys Secondary School, Mwingi West. I thought we had acknowledged that, but I'm told it's a second batch. Bahati PCEA girls from Bahati, Nakuru. And in the public gallery, Kirarwa Secondary School from Kinangop, Nyandarua. And Kiva Secondary School from Masinga, Machakos. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House. Chematia, I have already given direction. Chematia, no.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We've spent 20 minutes on that statement.
Request for statement.
Order Gikaria, cross over and see the questioner and satisfy him. Chematia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a request for statement regarding the unlawful and illegal.
Chematia, hold your horses. 1 minute, Kainan.
Every region or every community has certain expectations from every regime. We as Northerners, we have 3 critical expectations from the current regime. One has been solved. One was training, recruitment, and posting of teachers. That has been solved by His Excellency the President. 2 more critical issues are remaining. And and you may be part of the solution because you are a major stakeholder in the current government. One of which is extension of the national grid from Garissa, Wajir, Mandera. That has yet even to get the attention of the government even at the planning stage. The third one, Mr. Speaker, and I want you to go on record, is the construction of the road from Isiolo, Modogash, Wajir, Mandera, Samatar, all the way. Mr. Speaker, I want to beg you. Mr. Speaker, I want to request you. I know, unless the planners are seized off with this, it is difficult even to get a donor. I want to believe with the chair. There is no time when the resources will be enough. We have been excluded from the national planning by that discriminatory sectional paper called number 10 of 1965. Under your leadership, can you include this in the next budgetary framework so that Northern Kenya is connected to the national grid? And I want to request you, Mr. Speaker, using your administrative, parliamentary, legal skills to assist us also as a stakeholder of the current regime to push this so that once and for all in our lifetime we see connection to the national grid, just like we are waiting for that critical road connection to our region. Thank you, Mr.
Point
Speaker.
made, I'll be your champion for that. Chematia. Order. Chematia.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 444, Cap 2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding unlawful occupation of land, LR number 209/10, 210 IR 66157, belonging to the College of Insurance. Honorable Speaker, in 1992, the Insurance Training and Education Trust, ITET, established the College of Insurance in Nairobi, South Sea, to offer insurance training. In 1995, the ITET acquired a 5-acre piece of land adjacent to the College of Insurance for purposes of future expansion. The land, which is registered as LR number 209/10210, LR number 66157, under the deed plan number 193902, remained non-property to ITET until 2010, when one Rajab Ahmed Karume claimed to have been issued an allotment letter in 1998 for the same parcel of land. Suspiciously, his allotment letter was obtained 3 years after the ITET's possession raising question of authenticity of his allotment letter. Honorable Speaker, the Land Act Cap 280 provides for mandatory procedures during evictions from any property. Notably, Section 152G of the Act provides that such action must be preceded by proper identification of those taking part, presentation of formal authorization and special measures to ensure that there is no arbitrary deprivation of property or possessions. In disregard of the law, on June 6, 2025, goons believed to have been hired by Mr. Rajab raided the college, destroyed the fence and gates, and began erecting the perimeter wall around the disputed land. This land grabbing scheme has blocked access to the college and the convention center, threatening the very existence of this premier public institution that has been providing insurance training to government entities and private sectors and other stakeholders in the insurance industry since 1992. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Public Planning on the following statement. 1, I report on the rightful ownership of LR number 209-10-210, LR number IR number 66157, including all entries entered under the said land and the authenticity of the allotment letter issued to the parties. 2, the steps being taken by the National Treasury to secure the land ownership rights of the Insurance Training and Education Trust, being a public institution. Number 3, the measures being undertaken to protect the Insurance Training and Education Trust and the College of Insurance from harassment and intimidation by the persons claiming ownership of the land, including deployment of more police officers, and 4, clarification of the development approvals, if any, for the activities being undertaken on the disputed parcel of land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Finance, when can we get a response?
Honorable Speaker, bearing the sensitivity of this particular matter, will endeavor to reply to this House within 7 days. Because, Honorable Speaker, further delay in that will mean that the government would lose a very strategic investment that is made by College of Insurance and that hotel owned by College of Insurance called The Edge. As you may recall, Honorable Speaker, this is why we did public participation on finance being such a great facility to be let to be grabbed by private individuals. 7 days, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, do so. Next order. Yes, Owen Bayer, yes, you had requested to. Major Deco, what is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to raise an issue that was a fundamental issue that was raised by Honorable Kainan on the issue of
order. You are out of order. You are tumepita. You are out of order. Take your seat.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise on point of order 209-2, Honorable Speaker, on a matter of great importance to the people of Kilifi and generally the people of the coast, Honorable Speaker. It's a matter on water, Honorable Speaker. The people of Kilifi and Mombasa get water downstream in the Baricho Waterworks. And Honorable Speaker, this water must be offtake must be done through electricity. And Honorable Speaker, every time we have to use electricity, we have to pay bills as is expected, Honorable Speaker. But Kenya Power charges a very high tariff on production of water from the source to the ultimate destination, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this has caused a lot of pain to the people of Kilifi and Mombasa because all the water from Baricho, they pay hefty electricity bills, and therefore there's always disconnection. Honorable Speaker, on the 12th Parliament, we approved a report by the Committee of Energy, which was chaired by Honorable Gikaria, on a public petition regarding water supply constraints caused by Kenya Power tariffs in Kilifi County, Honorable Speaker. That petition I presented myself, and the report which I hold here, Honorable Speaker, was tabled in this House and approved. And one of the key recommendations of the committee, Honorable Speaker, was that the Energy, Petroleum and Regulation Authority, if I may quote, Honorable Speaker, must undertake and engage in a consultative forum with Waterworks Development Agency, water companies and various water services boards to come up with a non-commercial tariff for water pumping, supply for public water utilities, including the Baricho Water Works, which I know, Honorable Speaker, you know where Baricho is. And a report of the committee a report from EPRA was expected for 90 days. Honorable Speaker, that never happened. EPRA didn't do that. Neither the Minister of Energy, neither KPLC. Today, as I speak in this chamber, Honorable Speaker, water has been disconnected for the last 1 week in Kilifi, and people are suffering. Honorable Speaker, schools are closing. Hospitals cannot operate because KPLC disconnected the water. Honorable Speaker, water is a fundamental human right under Article 43(2) of the Constitution. It is important that this House enforces the attainment of the rights by ensuring that EPRA and other state agencies act to ensure that the constitutional rights are upheld. We cannot continue, Honorable Speaker, to have the people of Kilifi suffer from water deficiency, and yet there's plenty of water because of the wrong tariffs, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, KPLC, Honorable Speaker, has been one of the thorns for our enjoyment of our rights. Even when we must pay electricity, we agree we must pay, but not at the detriment of denying people water for 2 weeks, Honorable Speaker, because of electricity bills that must be done. Honorable Speaker, I pray that you, as Mr. Speaker, directs the Committee on Implementation to call EPRA, the CS for Energy, the PS for Energy, and everybody in this sector to answer to one fundamental question: why are they denying the people of Kilifi a right to enjoy the constitutional right of basic right like water, Honorable Speaker? And secondly, Honorable Speaker, that the Minister of Energy and KPLC and relevant players mentioned in the report forthwith implement there's a resolution to guard against curtailment of a right, and that they connect the power, Honorable Speaker, as they sort out this issue to avoid the continuance of suffering of the people of Kilifi. I beg you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Clerk. You can pass that concern to the Implementation Committee to deal with. The voice he has raised is loud enough. It doesn't need an addition. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, reduction of the publication period of specified bills.
Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Yes, what is it?
Order number 8. Who is prosecuting that?
Honorable Speaker, give me 1 minute so I consult with the leader. He moved away with everything. We don't have anything. This is my paper. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry, you know the substantive leader moved away with all documentation. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the following bills. 1, the Equalization Fund Appropriations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2025 from 7 days to 6 days, and 2, the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2025 from 7 days to 5 days. Honorable Speaker, this is a straightforward procedural motion. Honorable Speaker, as you know, we have constitutional timelines. We have constitutional timelines to meet as we move towards finalizing the issues of the budget, and therefore the appropriation of the Equalization Fund bill and the appropriations bill itself, Honorable Speaker, are important that we finalize them within this time. And therefore, we want to reduce that publication period by only 1 day so that we can catch up with constitutional timelines, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, having moved the motion, Honorable Speaker, I would like to request the substantive leader of majority to second this motion. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to second. And as my very able deputy has said, reduction of these timelines on these budget-related bills is important for us to be able to conclude this business before the end of the financial year, and bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, that we are bound to progress on recess. And therefore beg to second. And being a procedural motion, Honorable Speaker, I would request the honorable members to support and we put the question.
Order. Members on their feet, take your seats. Karole Omondi and group. Order. Take your seats. Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the following bills. 1. The Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2025 from 7 days to 6 days. And 2. The Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2025 from 7 days to 5 days. Do we put the question? I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the following bills. 1. The Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2025 from 7 days to 6 days. And 2, the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2025 from 7 days to 5 days. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
Order number 9, the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to authorize the issue of a sum of money out of the Equalization Fund and its application towards the service of the year ending 30th June 2026, to appropriate that sum for certain public basic services and for connected purposes. Order number 10, the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to authorize the issuance of a sum of money out of the Consolidated Fund and its application towards the service of the year ending on the 30th June 2026, and to appropriate that sum and a sum voted on account by the National Assembly for certain public services and purposes. Order number 11, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment to the National Police Service Commission.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on approval hearing of nominees for appointment as members of the National Police Service Commission, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 12th June 2025, and pursuant to the provision of Article 246(2) and 252 of the Constitution, and the Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments, Appointment Parliamentary Approval, Cap 7F, approve the appointment of the following nominees as members of the National Police Service Commission. 1, Ms. Peris Mudhoni Kimani, Mr. Benjamin Juma Ima, and Professor Coletta Suda, PhD. Honorable Speaker, the nomination of the 3 nominees was conveyed to the Speaker of the National Assembly on the 21st May, and the nominees' curriculum vitae, testimonial, and report of the selection panels are enclosed in their letter. And pursuant to the Standing Order number 42, on the 27th May, you yourself, Honorable Speaker, conveyed the message from His Excellency the President to the House on their nomination of the 3. and Honorable Speaker, the names of the nominees were referred to the Departmental Committee on Administration for the approval hearing. And upon conclusion of the hearing, the committee was required to table its report, which we are tabling, which we did, Honorable Speaker. Consequently, in fulfillment of the provision of Article 118 of the Constitution, Section 6.4 of the Public Appointment, Cap 7.5, and the Standing Order number 45.3, the Clerk of the National Assembly on the Thursday 29th notified the public through the print media that the Departmental Committee will consider an approval hearing for the three nominees on the Monday, June. And further, in accordance with the Section 6.3.6.9 of the Public Appointment Approval, Assembly placed, the Clerk of National Assembly placed an advert in the print media on the 29th May 2025, inviting the public to submit memoranda by way of written submission on oath on the suitability or otherwise of each of the three, in accordance with the public appointments. The advertisement indicated that the submission were to be received by the Thursday the 5th. And through a letter dated 28th, the Clerk of National Assembly notified the nominees of the time and place of holding the approval hearing. Notification was also done through the print media in accordance with the Section 6 of the Public Appointment. And further invitation letters for the approval hearings were written to the nominees, notifying them of the date, the venue of the approval hearing, which was on Monday the 9th. Further, on the 28th, the Clerk of National Assembly wrote letters to the ODPP, ESCC, KRA, HELP, DCI, and ORPPP, seeking the reference and the background checks relating to the suitability of the nominees. Honorable Speaker, the nominee appeared, these nominees appeared before the committee on Monday the 9th, 2025 for approval hearing, and in accordance to the provision of Constitution and the National Police Service Act, Cap 85, and the Public Appointments Act 7F, and the National Assembly Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, during the approval hearing of these great Kenyans of outstanding performance in the civil service, Honorable Speaker, of course, all of them actually had very long work experience in the civil service. During the approval hearing, the committee went through their curriculum vitae and their training and the experience. And they were so impressed, Honorable Speaker, by the performance and the experience of all the three nominees, Honorable Speaker. And actually, Honorable Speaker, I think it's worth to mention that we didn't receive any objection or any submission against any, having placed the advert and notified the public of the same, Honorable Speaker. All the nominees were nominated in accordance with the provision of the Constitution 246 of the Constitution and Section 6.5 of the National Police Act, Caps 85. Honorable Speaker, the members started doing or listening and interviewing the three, starting with the lady, Ms. Peris Muthoni Kimani, who has got a long withstanding experience, who was recruited in the police service as a constable and raised through the ranks to the position. By the time she was exiting the service, she exited in the position of AIG, which is just away 3 ranks below the position of the IG. And she had worked in the National Police Service for almost 40 years, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, throughout her service of the 39 years, she had worked virtually in every part of this country, to include the most hard part of this country, despite being a woman. She had really demonstrated patriotism. She had demonstrated, of course, leadership skills. And all along, Honorable Madam Speaker, she had actually even demonstrated to be a team leader. And we had considered that, Honorable Madam Speaker, she will bring much experience and commitment, patriotism to the National Police Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, on the part of the professor, on the part of the Benjamin Juma Ima, this is a distinguished Kenyan who equally rose from through the ranks in the National Police Service, starting as a constable. By the time of retirement, Madam Speaker, she was also in a position of AIG.
Your point of order,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Is the member on the floor in order to put or to give a statement regarding the nominee Paris Muthoni that says she has done a lot for herself and has been able to achieve a lot despite being a woman? Is being a woman a disability, Honorable Speaker? The Honorable member should tell us if it's a disability and if it is able, it is supposed to...
More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio, 88.2